What's going on? As I always say. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about how to resolve anger and where it stems from and how to get to the bottom of it. Now, throughout my whole life, I grew up around a lot of angry people, definitely. And that goes to say, or goes to show, to me, I've been involved in a lot of anger. I've seen a lot of anger. And also, I think a key thing to anger is the environment you grew up in and the situation that, you know, how you were raised, just what I said. And so I think that plays a big role into it. And I'm also obviously gonna say like ways to resolve it. I see, even people today, a lot of people angry. And whether it's a good reason to or not, most of the time it's because they're not happy and they're not doing what they want to do. I also was had my fair share of anger. You have to experience stuff to, overcome it and also, spread it and tell your experience with other people. I I had anger, a lot of anger, and maybe that's why I, I a lot of arguing and fighting around me always, and that's how I guess overcame it and got humble or disciplined or just happy in that sense, because I feel like that's the end goal, or at least what you want to be. The natural state of being is happy. I used to I'll say like my experiences real quick, like sometimes how I really overcome anger. I used to have this one girlfriend, pretty much one of my first girlfriends, and yeah, we were together for a long time, and she's not even really an arguable type necessarily, but our family's tied into it, kind of like vendettas or like Romeo and Juliet and things like that, which didn't help the situation. And again, it was the whole environment. We didn't grow up with love and a lot of yelling, complaining. I think when families or environments are real restrictive and not letting the person be who they want to be is how people get angry, and it develops throughout their life. Because I know, and also traumatization, traumatization, that people hold on to those and they just never let go. So in the one experience I was saying with my girlfriend, we argued all the time, and we just argued so much. It was just, and then I felt like when we finally split up, and I felt like the sorrow and stuff, and it was like one of the deepest feelings I felt, though I don't really remember it. The feeling isn't too vibrant or vivid per se, but now that I talked about it, I actually do remember that feeling. And it's not super strong, probably because I forgave her and forgave each other, and all the arguing basically that we did and complaining. It just made me never want to argue again. Like I had to argue so much before. Now I end up not arguing at all, and I don't really argue with people uh, at all. And then I was around my stepdad, and all my life all my life everyone complained, everyone complaining, bullying, I guess, could play definitely plays a role into this too. And so it's definitely your environment per se, how the anger, how the child turns out at the end of the day. You know, someone's raised with love is not going to be an angry person at the end of the day. It's just not gonna. It's just it could happen, but not likely. It's just not gonna happen. But I've been through so much. You know, you get to the state where you don't want to argue anymore. You don't want to complain. Da 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 da. So that's how anger, resides in someone. Also, there can be a trauma, and then there's other small things like somebody engaging in a war or want to fight. And there is times you can use aggressiveness and anger, and it can be good. It can be beneficial. Uh, and since we're talking about it, so if you're in, there can be anger can be a beneficial emotion, or it can be whatever at the end of the day, however you want to view it, but it's mostly negative and it harms you. And let's say you were going to fight someone, this is a good time. You want to turn on, that adrenaline and be aggressive. You don't even got to be angry, but you know, uh, it's just a lot of times it's just that's a good time to like act a good if it's a good reason to fight, and you think it's worth it, then commit to it. And obviously you're not going to be necessarily happy, you might be, but you're not necessarily going to be angry, though you could be. A lot of people let their emotions get to them. That's pretty much a whole subject in its own. But me, after I went through this relationship and everything, I grew up, a lot of times people wanted to fight me, or a lot of people were just hard headed and mean to you, bullying. And I, even people around me know a lot. Even I mean, I know a lot of people that I usually laugh at people. I, the last couple times I've been in fights, well, we're gonna engage in a fight, because when someone says they're gonna beat you up like right then and there, and they're gonna fight you, like that's gonna amp you up, pretty much. And I still remained cool and I was laughing just like this, but I was like ready and pumped up, you know what I mean, at the same time, like ready to go. But they didn't fight me, you know what I mean? It was stupid. And I'm just saying, like, other people will get like real aggressive and real mad. And yeah, trust me, I thought about it's all about the reasoning behind it. And I didn't go beat those people up because just there was no reason to, and there was no real reason to fight. They were just trying to instigate something, or they were drunk or in their feelings, basically, over nothing. And being protective, other people are just way too overprotective, and just kind of like how society is. But that's a whole different topic in itself. So I know I mentioned a lot of things, how I guess how you can get angry, and I'm gonna tell you ways to resolve it, because again, I know so many people that are angry all the time. Uh, there's a multitude of ways to actually do it, and I think the biggest one is, you know, whether you're with the person, well, getting away from the situation, whatever is making you angry, because there has to be something that makes you angry, and to keep it there, you have to change your situation. I mean, it's dynamic, so it depends on what's making you angry. But if it's your situation that you're in now, like, or your workplace, or the work you're doing, if you don't vibe with them people and they're angry, then it's just gonna resolute and make you angry. If you're listening to angry music and you don't want to be angry, I mean, it's gonna make you angry. You're around angry people, it's gonna make you angry. I mean, it's kind of common sense, and some people get it, but some people don't. But angry people are usually they're the ones that are hard headed most of the time, like super hard headed, and they don't listen to anybody. Uh, So that's one. Get out of the environment. Whatever's making you angry, get away from it. Is it the video game? Or, usually it's just yourself stirring the emotion. Is it the work? And that's the whole thing, like that environment. And also doing what you want to do. I say this all the time, but no, if there's something you want to do, you can't really be angry doing something you want to do. It's just kind of idiotic to be, you know. And yes, there is some people who like to be angry and they build fire off it, and I don't know, there's very few people that are like narcissists. They like to be angry, and that's just gonna be that how it is. And there's always gonna be angry people, but it's your choice to be angry. So environment's number one, and friends, family, the situation. Are you doing what you want to do? All packed in one. That's one way to resolve it. Two would be, and angry people never want to hear like the truth. That's the hardest thing. Truth is hard for people to hear anyway. Let go of what's going on and forgive people. Some things that really made me like really got the adrenaline pumping in me. Not even necessarily the fights or like a video game, but those weren't even as bad, you could say. But like a bunch of people owed me money or stolen off me. My own brothers, and I've had a bunch of money stolen off me a bunch of times. I'd probably be rich right now, honestly. And I've had a bunch of money stolen off me a bunch of times, and from best friends, brothers, and I had to even other people that are closer than that, and I had to forgive these people. I just had to forgive them. You can't hold on to something; it's just gonna create anger in you, and you can't really live with regrets, because that's just gonna build up into you. Because anger builds up, and you have to forgive them. And that's a key thing right here: forgiving. Whether you do it in person or this person is no longer alive, too far away, you can still forgive them in prayer and message. You don't have to say it directly to the person, or when you do see this person, forgive them. Don't have to be best friends with them. You can just say, hey, I forgive them. You tell yourself that. This is all about self-work. It's not necessarily with anybody else. You tell yourself this, and this is how you accomplish it. So you got to forgive yourself. This is essentially what you're doing. So you're not mad at this person. You forgive them. You know what I mean? You got to tell them. You got to tell them that. If you love yourself, it's really hard to be angry at people. So number one, environment. Two, forgiving. You gotta forgive everybody, whether they're alive or not, and you see them or not. You don't gotta be face to face, but if you can, excellent. However you want to do it, that's a great one. Three, something to let out necessarily like stress or something would be exercise. Exercise would be definitely good, but not not like doing aggressive exercise, because that's almost defeating the point. And being violent with your exercise is not going to help either. Doing, I guess, something that's relaxing, going outdoors, just something that relaxes you, basically anything. So I guess that goes with exercise. But exercise can be a stress reliever. Just don't go in there all mad, because if you're doing anything mad, it's just going to reciprocate as making it more mad or being more angry. So just like I said, with number one, like listening to angry music, it's just gonna make you angry. If that's not gonna happen all the time, but if you don't want to be angry, then don't listen to it. And just be aware of what's going on in your environment again. And like I said, exercise, or just doing something that calms you and it's peaceful. Five, I guess we have five. I think so. Maybe it was just four. I think four. Would be, I'm not. I don't have nothing against animal meat. I eat it my friggin' self, but especially at the situation I'm in, your food in general can make you angry. It definitely can. I've felt the subtlest I felt what fruits make you emotional. I've read it, but I've also experienced it, and meat can make you angry. I'm not saying you have to stop eating meat or whatever, but if you're eating processed foods and junk food, that can make your body angry and you'll feel it emotionally. That can make you angry. And that's a great, watch out the food. Stop. If you've been eating meat, maybe stop for a little bit and see if, as things change or change what you're eating in general. Because it can definitely can make people angry. It's definitely true. Um, I mean, you can. I'm not gonna say. I'll just say it real quick. An option would be fasting. Would help with pretty much all of this. All of these. Not eating. It definitely helps. It definitely helps sustaining from food. But I'm not really gonna get into that too much because I didn't want to focus on that in this video. Just refraining from eating can make you less angry. Yeah. It can, definitely can. I've felt it before. And I guess number 6, if that was like a little bonus, 6 would be letting the situation, your work environment, if you haven't tried this, go talk to a therapist, a friend that you really like, and tell them about your anger or how you feel about the situation. And also you could talk to God about the situation, prayer, or meditation, that could definitely help it, but expressing it to someone. And just a quick fact, when you are angry, it is negative in the body for the most part. Like I said, if there's a few circumstances where it can be beneficial, and it's just going to cause a mayhem in a body. It poisons the blood, your thoughts, and you don't want to be angry forever. It's hard to stay angry forever. But if you're consistently angry all the time, then something's going on in your life. You need to change it, and that's probably the biggest thing is you need to change it. Someone's not going to change it for you, so you're going to have to do that yourself. And that's what matters most. And that's the thing about anger. It usually goes hand in hand with someone who's like conceited in a way, but more so like hard-headed. And they don't want to listen to anybody. And that's the problem, is like they don't ever want to do anything about it. And it's usually, a multitude of things, but you got to change the state. It's up to you. Someone's not going to do it for you. Go, if you can't do it, seek some help from someone else. But it's really not hard to be angry. Usually people who are angry all the time, but they usually are angry at everything, and they complain about everything, and you can see it's them. You know what I mean? You got to start doing like positive things or affirmations, or again, all the stuff I named, changing the way you eat. But also you need to start looking at stuff like positively and get away from stuff that's putting you down or negative, and just change your whole life basically. That's pretty much what needs to be done in that situation, and your outlook on things, and seeing different things, and just not getting mad over stupid and petty things, especially because it just keeps building up. And once you get angry, you keep getting angry at everything, and your whole world's angry. It's your world, so you control it. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe. Let me know if you have any video requests. This was a late night one, so we're under a light bulb. Yeah, it didn't get in the picture. But, yeah, tell your experience below. If you have any other suggestions, give me a like.